Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
And good evening, iRacers. Welcome to ARL TV's coverage of Season 1, 2013, Round 1. We are at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. My name is Lee Thompson, and with me today, having the unenviable task of looking after the cameras as well, is newly pro-drivered Alex Simpson. Evening, Alex.
Yeah, hi guys. Good to be here. Should be fun. Busy night for me.
Yeah, indeed. Let's hope we don't have too busy of a first lap. We've seen a little bit of carnage in the strength of field races prior to this. Yeah, at least, what, 10 cars was it involved practically, Alex? A big pile-up. So hopefully we have a cleaner start to this race.
Yeah, it was at least 10. It was pretty hectic.
Right, cars are in fact starting to grid up already, so let's very quickly run us through the grid before we get going. So Riccardo Castellado has the overall pole position for the week with a 101.381. In P2 we have Ryosuke Sawada, in P3 we have Ariel Bernardi, in P4 we have Matthias Ventve, in 5 we have Michel Mancusi, P6 we have Javier Soto, P7 we have Omar Soto, P8 Carlo Labetti, P9 Jukka Savalainen, P10 is Lassie Brun-Hansen, and I think actually we'll hang to the top 10 from there with me running through because time is rapidly disappearing. 15 seconds now until lights are going to go green, guys.
Yeah, so round 1, season 2, Road to Pro Championship. Has a lot of new faces in there as well. I think this is going to be a great race. Let's watch for turn 1 carnage.
Right, revs are building already, so let's get a good clean start. So great launch off the line from Riccardo Castellado, a little bit of movement behind, Jorge Montanes is it, oh they're 3 wide coming over the crest.
Oh, there's contact further back as well. I think Carlo Labatti caught in that. He had a shocker in the last race. Oh, Soto around.
Yeah, so first few cars got through and then after that more contact and they're still squabbling behind as well coming into turn 4.
Yeah, guys just not giving each other their room. Everybody knows this is the big strength of field race as well, just trying to make those few places down into turn 1.
And we've got a big battle coming into the next turn. All contact again, and we've got 2 cars spinning. That's going to be Matthias Ventry and possibly High Bio, I think. In fact, no, it was Lassie Brun-Hansen. We've got cars going off in every corner practically at the minute. Coming down Barajas Straight, we've got cars in the gravel as well. So there's going to be a bit of catching up to do as we come up to the end of the lap here. We're streaking way out in front, already coming onto the start-finish straight. We've got Riccardo Castellado, so he got a great getaway off the line, streaking away. Good couple of seconds, second and a half ahead then of sorry, what we got? Try that again. So ahead of Javier Soto, so we've got Javier Soto in second, Michel Mancusi in third, Ariel Bernardi in fourth, and Jukka Savalainen in fifth, Jan Zlowski sixth, Mikko Merlitsu in seventh, Michael Goman eighth, all side by side with Joni Hagen looking to go up the inside of him, still in ninth for now, and rounding up the top 10 for now is Jonas Mäkinen.
Yeah, so how many people did we lose off the start there in the end?
I think we have to wait just for the timings to update themselves, but I'm reckoning we're looking at 5 people missing coming over the line so far, and a couple dropped way back, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I can hear cars going off in the background as well.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky track, is Laguna. I mean, obviously I spent the weeks helping the guys going for pro this season set the car up and things like that, and I was struggling a little bit with it. Very easy to put a wheel into the gravel, and it sort of pulls you off the track a little bit as well. So
I think, you know, it's such a long race here at Laguna this week, and it's just as we've got real train of cars coming up over the line. So we've got Michael Goman all over the back of Melitolo as they're coming into turn 2 here. All loses the rear, does Nico, and contact again. So Joni Hagen just about hangs around the outside. Michael Goman's going to have front wing damage there, certainly, as he cuts across the back of Joni there.
yeah, I don't think there was anything Joni could do there. Obviously Goman went for the move and just come back across, and there was just obviously the little clip front wing and rear tyre there. It doesn't look like he's affected him too much. Didn't push wide around that corner, so I think he got away with that one.
Yeah, and this is a corner here where we've seen everybody going off wide. That's a really do-or-die corner there as they come through that fast left-hander onto Rahal Straight. You know, you either turn in too early and hit that massive sausage of a red curb on the inside, or you run wide and head out over to the gravel.
Yeah, as the cars go through the famed corkscrew corner, that's been ever so tricky as well. It's all going to be about pit stop strategy today though, and we're glad that pit stops are back in as well, so I would be surprised if anybody's on a no stopper. One stop seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, so we've added a good chunk of time onto the races this year, so we've gone from an average of 45 minutes last year or so. So far this week we've been running just over an hour, I think, more like an hour 5 or so. So it's a good extension to link these races, and as you say, it's what we've been crying out for all of last season, wasn't it? It was a bit of strategy, a bit of variation. Right, so it looks like, you know, everyone's just settled themselves down a little bit now after that just mayhem of the first couple of laps, and so it is such a long race that, you know, we need a little bit of patience in these strength and field races maybe. But Castellado into the final corner again, really pulling away from Javier Soto by a good sort of 4 or 5 seconds now, it looks like, and then a similar gap back to Mancusi, but Sovalainen's got Bernardi all over the back of him as they come down to the front straight now. He's got Bernardi's got a much better exit coming out of that corner. He's going to hang with them pretty well. See much of a draft effect we get as they head down towards turn 2 now. And just, yeah, it's nice and sensible, too far back to make a lunge or anything, but able to take quite a tight line coming into the corner there. And a little bit squirrely on the rear for both of them, both for Bernardi and for Savalainen there as they come towards turn 3. And
Bernardi was quick in qualifying as well, so I think he's definitely got the pace. But I haven't seen Joni do a race run yet, so I'm not entirely sure what kind of strategy he's on. I'm sorry, I got the name wrong there. Apologies. Savalainen. But this is going to be the key thing, I think, is who's carrying just a slightly more fuel. As we know, the tyre wear's not that big a deal, so is people going to be looking for the overcut rather than the undercut here?
That's what I was going to say. We're expecting people to extend that first stop as long as possible, I guess, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, there's an element where you obviously want to be as quick as possible in the first stint and not extend it too long. I mean, the tyres do go off to a degree, so I think optimal somewhere between lap 30 and probably lap 35. You might get the odd driver extend it out another lap or so, but anything longer than that is perhaps a little bit too long. And the best will be worn off for the tyres, and the guys who pit early probably not going to lose too much time to someone running that little bit longer. Yeah, so the top 4 or 5 cars now have really strung out quite a bit.
The first little section of battling we've got is still between Savalainen and Bernardi as they come up towards a corkscrew now. Not as close as they were a minute ago, but still a bit of pressure between them. Jan Zalowski, who of course we know well from last season, seeing in most of the strength field races, keeping them honest as well in P6, with Miralutu in P7. Joni Hagner then got Jonas Nakarinen and Hunter Manley all over the back of him as they come through to the penultimate corner now of the lap. Very, very close between the three of them as they come up to the front straight. And Nakarinen quite deep onto the brakes into that final corner there. Hasn't quite got the run, hasn't quite got the exit on Hagner coming onto the straight, but nice and neat and tidy from both of them nonetheless as they head into turn 2.
Yeah, it seems where this is all the action is at the moment. We'll stick with it.
And just to confirm then, I'm thinking we've got 3 cars that are actually out of the race then from those first lap instants. We have Omasato, we have Roisuke Sawada, who was second on the grid, I seem to remember.
As Eunice has a look up the inside of Yoni, I think he's got the job done.
Yeah, nice and cleanly by. Looked like it was a little bit deep maybe from Hagner as it came through. You see now if Hunter Manley behind can now pressure Yoni. Oh, as I say that, it gets deep onto the brakes, right up to the gearbox of Yoni Hagner there was Hunter Manley. Didn't quite get the exit because of it.
Yeah, Eunice got a whole load of gravel coming through corkscrew, but you can get a slowdown penalty there pretty easily, but I think he's got away with that one. You can see the guys closing in on the brake and Hunter wide at the back there.
So that's Michael Goman straight by, and now Hunter's got... We've got Javier Weiss, sorry, all over the back of him now as they head into turn 2.
Yeah, a few more GT Ross team colours out there, and you've got to slightly pick out the differences between them. I think it's the differences are in the wing colours. It's the way to spot them.
Yeah, and of course we've got a good number of familiar names that we're used to from last season, but some new ones to learn as well. So let's have a quick think about who the new drivers to us, or certainly to me, are that we're seeing in these strength field races. So Michel Mancusi, I certainly saw him running in the FW31 last season, but not really in the strength field races, I don't think. So he's currently in 3rd at the moment. Behind him, Yuka Savalainen, we've seen him a little bit at times, but maybe not quite so strongly up to the front. Ariel Bernardi is definitely a new a runner for the car. I think we know him best from the Star Mazda, Alex?
Yeah, I think so. He did pretty well there last season. He did a race at the very end of last season, and he was quick in the car, so...
Yeah, so really for the top 10, those are the 3 or so names that perhaps we're not as familiar with. So it'll be interesting to see how they do as we continue through the season, if they can keep this strong pace, which they're really showing straight away.
Yeah, Michael Goman coming under a bit of pressure there as well. I think that's Hunter Manley.
Yeah, trying to regain that place that he lost after making a mistake coming out the final corner, running out onto the AstroTurf. Very, very slippy on that AstroTurf in the final corner. I think it's a slight height change between the level of the curb on the AstroTurf, and the rear can just spin out very, very easily.
Yeah, we're not seeing too much overtaking here today. I don't think we expected to. We know it's all really going to be about the strategies today, so...
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that this season. We were really missing it, last year. We had a few of these races where perhaps the cars got strung out, and then really there was never going to be anything to shuffle them up. So I'm much happier now to see this bit of variation.
Yeah, that was the difference really. Last season we had a few tracks like this as well, where we couldn't really overtake, and where previously we've been able to work on strategies and do the moves on those sort of circuits. The pit stop phase, we just never had that last season, so it was, in some sense, it was very processional. But here, this season is going to really spice things up. So those guys that may have the pace in qualifying, but not quite got it in the race, and are good enough to sort of not make a mistake and hold people up. They're going to come unstuck when it comes to the pit stop phase now. So everything's important, qualifying and race.
And it'll be interesting to see as we go through the season if these first lap incidents just calm down slightly, because for the last couple of seasons, of course, everybody knows you've got to get it done in the first lap or two, unfortunately, because then there's no opportunity to do anything else, and that's maybe where we get a few more instances than we'd like. Maybe with this strategy, people will just learn to just chill out a touch more, perhaps, in those first laps. Maybe that's a bit optimistic, but who knows? We can wait and see.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, the cars are lighter now going into turn 1, so there's less of an excuse really that the car's heavy, tyres are a little bit cold, and the back end comes around and causing these mistakes. I mean, we didn't actually see too much into turn 1. It was more what happened before caused that issue. So yeah, it's such a tight entry into turn 1 down there as well. The track's not very wide here at Laguna, so getting 3 or 4 wide as they were at one point is always going to be difficult and lead to that turn 1 mayhem. I think at like Silverstone and places like that, which we've got next week, it's definitely going to be a lot easier going into turn 1 there, with the car being a little bit lighter and a lot more room around everyone.
So Riccardo Castelletto, we're on lap 12 now. Short laps here as well. They're going to be running sort of 1 minute. What are we at? 1 minute freeze. Yeah, 1 minute 3-1 for Riccardo. So short laps, only on lap 12, and he's already several corners ahead of Javier Soto in second, who we know is no slouch anyway. You know, running for Pro last season, narrowly missing out. I think he got the 11th spot, in fact, didn't he? I seem to remember. So Castelletto is really showing what he's going to hopefully be able to do in the Pro Series, in the World Championship Series if he can get in, or the Pro Series at the end of this year, hopefully. Yeah,
he's nailed it everywhere this week. You know, qualifying's there. Qualifying, right. Race pace, he's been absolutely superb.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's do an onboard lap now with Riccardo Castelletto as we cross over the line, over the crest through turn 1 into turn 2. Brake on the line there, right out over the edge of the circuit, and try and clip the second apex now on the inside. Straighten that exit up as much as possible as we head into turn 4. Just a little lift and down a gear into second. Hard on the power, you can see how to correct on the exit. A little lift again now into this turn, and again running right out to the very edge of the track. We run along the curve all the way up here, braking hard and deep and late. The corner's cambered, you can really carry a lot of momentum as we come in here. And this is the do or die corner. See this sausage on the left here, this red curve? You've got to be so careful not to clip that, otherwise you're ending up on the wall. Now to the famous corkscrew. Of course, this is what everyone knows Laguna for. You can't see either apex on the approach from the cockpit. You just turn in and trust the track is going to be there. Balancing the throttle slightly now, coming through this last left-hander, and it'll be a lift and down a gear, very wide from Riccardo. But I think that was planned. I think that was the line he was looking to take. Final corner already, clip the curb on the inside, drifting all the way through the corner as Riccardo there, and already that's a lap. You can see how busy the cars are. I've not had a chance to breathe through that whole commentary of a lap, and they're just busy the whole time. You can see, we can really make a lot of use of the edges of the track here. We saw Castelletto running out beyond the curbs quite comfortably, quite planned as well, not errors, and that's where we're seeing dust getting kicked up through quite a lot of the parts of the circuit.
It's the one good thing actually I will say about Laguna. Yes, it's narrow and it's difficult to overtake, but the curbing, you've got the odd sausage curb here and there, but for the most part we can run over the curbs. It's pretty flat, it's easy to sort of navigate around, and it's not really affecting any of the drivers. So this is what we want from a sort of a circuit with the curbs. Like when we compare this to the likes of Zolder, that's got nasty little curbs everywhere.
Castelletto nearly ending up in the wall, coming out of, that's going to be turn 9 it was there. Just about got a 2-foot tax to save the car there.
See if we can bring that up on a replay. Yeah, he's had a few races already this week where he's made a mistake, so I think he's really racing just to improve his iRacing, his safety rating at the moment. Obviously all the new pros have just had a 1 point taken off of them, so oh yeah, let's just see it, very lucky. I think he lost it on the corner after that in one of the previous races. So
yeah, so he's not letting up at all, pushing as hard as he dares every single lap it seems. So yeah, coming up to lap, just going on to lap 15 now, waiting for we reckon at least another 10 laps before any planned pit stops start to kick in properly, and we start getting towards halfway through the race. So now that we're on to lap 15, then let's have a little run through the top 10 and make sure we know where we are. As we're saying, Riccardo Castelletto streaking away, P1, really showing himself as having the pace over everybody in the field at the minute. Javier Soto in P2, Michel Mancusi in 3rd, Yuki Savalainen in 4th, Jan Zalowski in 5th, Yunus Nukarinen in 6th, Joni Hagner in 7th, still very, very close between him, Michael Goman in 8th, and Hunter Manley in 9th, barely a second between the three of them there. And rounding up the top 2 is Ariel Bernardi. We must have missed that at some point now, Alex, because he was running in 3rd, 4th position earlier on in the race.
Yeah,
so
I didn't see where he went off there, so I'll have a little look and see if we can find something later on in the bookmarks and just review that post-race. Yes, this 3-car battle seems to be where the bulk of the action is at the moment. Most of the other positions are all settling themselves down and eking out little gaps from one another. But just while we've got a minute just to catch our breaths with some of the action that's been going on, we are watching our Twitter feed at the moment, so if you want to have a bit of interactive and ask us some questions while we're on the comms, then please do. Send us a tweet at Apex Racing TV. It's on the screen now. You can see it better than I can read it, clearly. And we're also on Facebook as well, so don't forget to follow us on there at ARL TV.
Yeah, I was just having a bit of a look at Ariel Bernardi's car a minute ago. I couldn't see any obvious damage to me, so hopefully he'll be able to keep running at a strong pace and perhaps climb his way back up the field.
Oh, Goman a little bit sideways coming out of the exit of the last turn. Manley's going to have a run on him.
Yeah, right on his gearbox as they come up over the crest. He goes around the outside as Hunter Manley. Is he going to be brave and hang all the way around the outside of turn 2? Oh, Michael Goman needs to stick close to the inside. Good, clean racing for both of them. Hunter's runs a little bit wide, just touching wheels almost as they come out of turn 2 there. And Hunter Manley completes the move. Oh, Michael Goman loses a rear as he tries to come back it in there. Great save again. So
get that Apex Racing UK set up. Woo! Sorry, couldn't help it. I had to do it at some point.
But also, good job to Michael Goman. Didn't run wide at all. Had to stick to that inside line all the way around and not let that car drift out. And nice, clean races from the two of them. No,
it was great driving from both parts there. Hunter left enough room up the inside. Didn't try and squeeze Michael in there, and Michael basically kept his car on the curb on the inside and didn't try and run out wide or late brake or anything crazy. And both guys survive it, and depending on what the strategies are, Michael could have a little go back later on as well.
Yeah, and Michael Goman is my tip for perhaps challenging strongly for those pro positions. One of those pro positions this year. He was always sort of there and thereabouts last season, but the most important thing I think is that he rarely got involved in incidents, rarely got caught up in anything. So if he can have another clean season, then I think he's going to be right in the possibility of being in those top 10 drivers. Yeah, I agree with that. Another driver just on camera now, it disappeared. It was Jan Nielwalski. He's definitely going to be a driver that's going to be up there. So I expect him to be a little bit higher on the overall qualifying standings, but his consistency in the race is amazing. So, and he's definitely going to be a strong charger for it. Yeah, and a track like this is so tough to be consistent as well, because it's so technical, as we saw in our onboard lap. It's so busy as well. You're never really relaxing. Even this start finish straight is going to be turning for most of it. That consistency is going to make a massive difference at a place like this, especially. It looks like I was about to say Yunus is catching up with Jan a little bit, but the last time by, Jan was slightly quicker. Both drivers in the 103s, 103.3 for Jan, and while Yunus a 0.6. So I'm not sure what team Jan is with. I think he might be an independent, but 10-4 engineering for Yunus. Obviously, last season's champion Olli Pekala come from that team. So let's hope he's taught Yunus everything he knows, and another driver hopefully will be fighting for the pro spots at the end of the season. Right, so again, just whilst we're having our moment of the cars having settled a little bit, we didn't quite get a chance to congratulate the top 10 pro drivers that finished last season, so let's make sure we get that done in a minute, apart from the fact that my page decided to reload and we just allowed me to read the list, which was particularly helpful. Just while you bring that back up, we're
Looks like Hunter's closing in on Yorny in front of him as well, so Hunter's definitely got a quick car underneath him. If I remember rightly from watching one of the previous races as well, Yorny's going to go quite long, so I think he is a lap 36 stopper, so this could be fuel related, but it looks like Hunter's going to need to make a move sooner rather than later, I think, if...
or maybe be flexible with his strategy and pit maybe a touch earlier than he was planning to try to clear him in time.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I know that Hunter's running quite long as well, so there's a little bit of flexibility in the strategy. So we'll have to see what he does. Obviously, he's on the in the race channel on his own down there at the moment. So
and he gets close up to the back of Jonny Hagner there as they come out the corner. But
Goman's obviously not dropped back either.
No, hanging right with him. So yeah, just to quickly congratulate the top 10 pro drivers from season 1. So Ollie Picala, as we just heard, was the overall winner for the season. He won. Juhai Arbe 2nd, Rocco Barone 3rd, Isaac Price 4th, Jon Jens 5th, Fabio Di Carmo 6th, Ricardo Castellado is 7th, who we're seeing in the lead in a minute. 8th is our very own Alex Simpson, 9th is Troy Schultz, and 10th is also Apex Racing UK driver Antoine Higelin. So those were the guys that got those coveted top 10 positions last season that these guys are all battling for today.
Just having a quick look now, I think Mancusi might have some rear wing damage there. Certainly looks a bit twitchy on the exits, and you can see it on screen. Definitely looks like a little bit of something there, so keep an eye on that. I'm not sure where he's picked that up, but his pace doesn't look slow or anything, so...
Yeah, so he's doing well hanging on to that 3rd position with that damage, and as I said, that rear wing definitely looks visibly damaged. Let's see with Jukka Savalainen and clawing that gap. They had less than a 10th between them on the last lap, so not much looking at the minute.
No, I mean, he's lapping pretty quick, 103.5s. Maybe at this point we might be thinking about dipping a little bit lower than that, so there might be a little bit of something going on there, but not too much. I know sometimes you can pick up a...
into the corkscrew there. I'm interested to see if he gets a slowdown. The entry, I mean, you can nip that corner on the entry, but...
Hunter having a look into the corkscrew, thought better of it.
Wise decision, I reckon. Brave trying to dive up the side into corkscrew there, and they're all just taking slightly different lines coming out the exit as well.
Yeah, it's a weird corner. Actually, I mean, there's a lot of lines available on this track as well because of all the cambered corners that we've got. I mean, pretty much every corner has a different degree of camber in there. So you catch it just right, you can really get some time. But depending on how your setup is as well, there's different lines through the corners. Obviously, you can take slightly wider lines to pick up some of the extra camber and set your car up to take it. And vice versa as well, so you can get it down low where some of the cambers are very minimal.
Yeah, and that turn 2 is a good example of that as well, with it being the double apex, and again you can take quite different lines going through there as well.
It looks like Bernardi is slowly catching this this battle up here as well, so I'm thinking we're going to have a 4-car battle in very soon.
Yeah, that last lap he was a good half a second quicker than the cars in front, so you're right, he's going to be right in amongst them. And again, really, in my mind, we're getting towards, not a million miles away from halfway. I think, if that was me, as soon as I get to their dirty air, I think I'm diving in the pits and trying not to, I know I'm quicker than them, I'm going to lose time up and sat behind. Oh, Michael Goman!
I think he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here.
Great job keeping it out of the wall, though, so close, but yeah, move is already done. So, yeah, like I said, I wouldn't pit if I was Ariel Bernardi, because clearly the cars in front are just going to lose it and he's going to jump those places anyway, so he doesn't need to worry.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I wouldn't jump. I certainly wouldn't jump in too early. I mean, maybe a couple of laps, that's it. If you really think the person in front of you is going slower than the pace that you can run when you come out. Oh, Bernardi made a mistake, Goman! Oh, I think there was front wing damage there as well, just trying to stop. Goman had nowhere to go really there. He was on the apex, and it looks like rear wing damage as well for Bernardi. So that's the 2nd race in a row that he's picked up rear wing damage, struggling through the corkscrew. Yeah, it's not going to be good for him.
And that's the second bit of damage I think we've seen him get this race as well, because he's already had that incident earlier on where he drops in positions.
Yeah.
Michael Goman in for a new front wing.
Yeah, he's decided that he's got to do that. There's nothing Bononi can do. I mean,
Hunter Murray, sorry, and Joni Hugner, turn 1. I only caught the end of it, but they must have been side by side coming to turn 1 there. Big contact between the two of them, both out the race.
Let's have a
No
quick.
way either can continue.
Let's have a quick replay of that. See what happened.
So just after
Hunter got past into the last corner. Just having a look at the replay now. Hunter dived up the inside last corner, got the move done. Joni all over Hunter. Hunter squeezing him up the inside. Ah. Yeah, unfortunately, don't like to definitely don't like to say anything about teammate, but he needed to give him more room there.
Yeah, lots and lots of space on the left, on the right rather.
Yeah, he had that better run on there, and he should have covered the inside a little bit earlier. But I'm sure he'll look at that back and think about what he did there and how he can do that better next time.
And in spectator chat, he's already admitted his fault, his error with it as well. So that's good to see at least.
Yeah, so you won't be too disappointed, Hunter. He got a 220-point race the previous one, so as far as championships going, he's off to a pretty good start. So.
Yes, that's really mixed up those lower end of the top 10 position zones. We've had those 4 cars all involved in incidents within 1 lap. So that's really changed things around again. Let's have a little think. So Ricardo Castroledo still leading first position, Payave Soto in second, Michel Mancusi in third, Yuko Saivalainen in fourth. I think he's gained a little bit of Saivalainen since we last looked. Jan Zilowski now up into 5th position. That's going to be a great haul of points for Jan. And Jonas Nikarinen in 6th. He's right behind Zilowski as well. So those two are going to be battling away. Rizuku Iwasaki, in P7. And then we have Justin Lindsay in 8th. Michael Goman recovering after that, pitting for that front wing in 9th. And then 10th position is going to be mixed in somewhere else within the field. So I'm scrolling through to find them. And no, it doesn't want to show me who 10th might be. Maybe that's because we're down to that many cars running.
Yeah, there really isn't many. I'm having a look now, and
Hunter Manley, 10th position. So that's it. We're down to 9 runners. Wow, we've lost a lot of cars. We must have missed quite a few.
A bit further back, yeah, definitely. I think a bit further back. It's a tricky track, and as we were saying, it's really tight. We didn't expect many moves to be going on, and that's just because it is so narrow. And I think when drivers go for it, you need to give a lot of room. And yeah, unfortunately, I think we. Not to speak badly of my teammate there, but that was definitely not how to do it. Don't worry, I'll be sure to give him a kick later. The main battle definitely seems to be between Eunice and Jan, as we've got somebody in the pits there. I'm not sure who that was. Yeah, Hunter's dropped down to 12th now, so last of the runners. Well, no, sorry, yeah, you're right, just 10 cars. Whew.
Yeah, it's an extremely high rate of attrition. I mean, so we lost a few in that first lap, but a lot have gone elsewhere as well. So lap 29 now, so we're going to start heading towards seeing this little bit of strategy come into play, and it'll be interesting to see then how it all shakes out when we come out the other side with well, hopefully for us it draws people together rather than strings anyone out more. So Ricardo Castroledo looking like he's comfortably on for the win at the minute. He's already got 1 race win for the week, along with that overall pole position, along with Bjorn Jens, who's our other race winner from the split, and Nico Nerilutu, which isn't a name that I recognise. Alex, is that one that's familiar to you?
I think he did do a couple of races last season at Interlagos. I believe he's... I might be wrong with this, so forgive me if I am. But I think he's a 9X racing driver, just come over from their LFS series that they run. Right. So yeah, he's... I know he had a little dabble last season, and he's come over I think full time now. So. Yeah,
so those are our 3 race winners so far from the split races that we've had. Yeah, looking like the second per week for Riccardo Castellodo.
Yeah, obviously we're not. I mean this with all respect. We don't really care too much about Riccardo and Jorn Jens being the existing pro drivers. This is all about the top 10 non-pro drivers. So those are the guys that are going to join Riccardo and Jorn up there. So yeah, while we know that Riccardo's doing a stunning job today and this week with his pace, it's all about the guys behind him.
Well, so I'm going to put you on the spot now, Alex, so don't hurt me too much later on. There's been lots of discussion in the forum about pro drivers entering these strict field races. What do you reckon?
Well, come later on in the season, I'm going to do them all. At the end of the day, I think I was going to stay out of some of the big strength of fields, but to be honest, the only reason I was going to do that was for my own teammates' points. But later on in the season, when I can help them by restricting big points and things like that, I'm going to do it, because at the end of the day this is a team game as well. So yeah, there's definitely been a lot of talk about it, but later on in the season you'll find me racing in the bigger races as well. So
cool. And of course the other problem for the newly qualified pro drivers is that there's no pro series yet, not until season 4, and it's very, very unlikely they're going to be able to get into WCS races. I just watched Nukarinen running very, very wide into the ultimate corner. Yeah,
he just about got it stopped, and actually think he gained some time there somehow.
Yeah, see if he plans to use that same line next lap.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm going to do the races is purely because, for what you said, I just don't think I'm going to get into the World Championship Series. There's enough drivers in there turning up each week that even if I was to qualify in the top 10, that I wouldn't get a grid spot. So, at the end of the day, if I'm going to do any kind of decent in the Pro Series at the end of the year, I need race practice, and the Class A Series is the only one we can do. So while some drivers might find that a bit frustrating, I'm afraid it's just the way it is. I guess the main thing is the consistency. The guys that are going to do it. Oh, Jan, a little bit out of shape. Eunice has a look. Sorry, yeah, those that are going to do it is that they keep doing it, so that they are there each race, each week, and they take points off of the same people as they would, you know, rather than just do one race in a blue moon and things like that. That can sometimes be a bit frustrating.
So these two cars then, 5th and 6th positions, so close together now, both sliding through the final corner, trying to gain as much time as they can. This is just going to be hotting up a little bit now in the next lap or so.
Yeah, see slight differences in line there going through turn 1. Eunice using a lot more of the entry concrete there. But yeah, Jan had a really bad lap. Look at that 1 minute 4.1. Just that little mistake in the corkscrew cost him all that time. If anything, I think these guys might be catching up. Savalainen ahead of them as well. So until he made that, and that was until he made that little mistake.
Yeah, because Savalainen was closing on Michel Maggiusi earlier on, and yeah, he's dropped a little way back now, so he's really in the middle of those two groups.
Yeah, it's interesting. You've got the top 3 drivers all managed to lap into the 1 minute 2s now as well.
Ooh, and Jan loses a rear coming up the final corner. Here we go. Eunice is going to get a great run on the back of him now as they come towards turn 2 over the crest in turn 1. Eunice goes to the inside. He's going to... Oh, he thought better of it, just backed out, but he's still got the inside line there. And I don't know, I'm seeing a little bit of lag maybe, which just confused matters as they're dropping back and forth. But Jan Zalewski back up inside. They're trying to hold a side-by-side still through 2 corners, but it looks like they've just about managed to straighten out. So yeah, it looked to me initially like Eunice had backed out of that move into turn 2, but perhaps it was just the
yeah,
they're trying to catch up.
From what I was looking at there, he looked like he was really struggling to get it stopped, so he didn't run into Jan, and he had a bit of back-end twitch going on there. But yeah, and I think Jan perhaps saw that, and he's left enough room there to ensure that he finishes. So it's good driving from both of them there. So Eunice for not overrunning, and Jan for allowing the room there so that he could go into there, because that could have easily have had them both off the track there.
I think I've seen the first scheduled pit stop that I've noticed. So we've got Justin Lindsay, who's pitted from P9, and Savalainen now is pitted from P4 as well. So they're both making their one stop for fuel.
Yeah, we'll have a look at what Savalainen does as far as the pit time, just to give us an idea what the front runners are and who's going to be closing in and not. 4.8 seconds. pretty
So on
decent
lap
stop.
34, Riccardo Castellodo 25 seconds ahead of Javier Soto, almost a second of that.
Yeah, absolutely smashing it out there is Riccardo. I've noticed that actually just sort of been keeping an eye on lap times a little bit, and Soto's definitely suffering with a little bit of consistency out there. I mean, a couple of laps ago it was I think he did 1:05, so I think generally his pace is really quick. It's just the consistency just not quite there. But this man out front is smashing it at the moment. Yeah, AB Racing must be pretty happy with one of their newest signees. I'm pretty sure he joined the team, I think it was the end of season 4.
And I think from what I gather, just very new to iRacing generally as well, so to get pro so quickly is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure we were speaking to him at the end of last season, and he did it for a while, didn't he? And then he left and then he come back again, so yeah, fair play to him. Yeah, and amazingly, Riccardo's about to put a lap on Savalainen here as well.
I've missed Javier Soto having his pit stop, so Javier Soto's down to 5th now. I presume that wasn't enough, but a scheduled pit stop, I'm sure. So that bumps for the moment Mancusi into 2nd. And Jonas Nurkonen and Jan Zalowski both pit on the same lap. So this is going to be fairly close between them now. Let's see if there's going to be any particular difference in no pit stops. So Jonas stops at his pit box nice and square. Didn't look like he ran in too hot. Jan Zalowski, yeah, looks okay as well. Let's see how they get away.
Jonas 3.9 seconds, so great
and
stop.
He's well clear, yeah. A little bit of a delay from Jan Zalowski. So that's all going to stay as they were then, and Jonas has gained what, a good couple of seconds or so.
Yeah, easily. But I think both drivers are going to get Savalainen here, are they not?
Very, very close.
It's going to be close for
Jan.
Jan.
Pit exit there, and they're going to be side by side coming into the next corner. Savalainen pushes him to the outside, and Jan Zalowski tries to hold on to that line around the outside, but can't quite manage it.
Cold tyres there, just otherwise I think he would have tried to have risked it round the outside.
Yeah, it's so tough coming out of that pit exit. It's such a tight, narrow exit of pit lane. It would be so easy just to have overcooked it, knowing that that position was up for grabs. Yeah,
now whilst Savalainen in 4.8 seconds, not particularly slow. I mean, Jonas was 3.9, so just under a second quicker. But I think he pitted about 3 laps earlier, and that's what's made the difference. So he's just looking at the lap times. Yeah, there was a good second a lap faster. Obviously, get rid of the in and the out laps. Castroledo's in. Yeah, lap 36.
So yes, that's worked out really well, in particular for, of course, Jonas Nurkonen. So in the last sort of few laps, he's made 2 positions through the overtake and then the pit stop.
Yeah, what sort of gaps he got from Mancusi at the moment? Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, Javier Soto and Michel Mancusi very, very close together. So surely, I presume this is Mancusi not having pitted and Javier Soto having pitted?
No, both drivers are pitted. Wow. Mancusi 4.5 seconds stop.
Javier Soto has lost a lot of time to Mancusi there. He's within a second or so now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what went on there. I mean, I can't really see anything until in lap times. I mean, just they look fine. So I think that's just a case of Mancusi having great pace, even with that damaged rear wing. That I think probably is just a bit of a glitch in the server now. I think he just went a little bit longer than Soto and got the jump on him.
Yeah,
or nearly got the jump. Sorry.
That was Mancusi's outlap, I reckon, a 1:10. So yeah, the strategy's paid off. So we've got another little battle between 7th and 8th at the minute, between Ryosuke Iwasaki and Michael Goman, a much easier name. Michael Goman gets sideways coming out the final corner there. They're within half a second or so of each other as they come over the crest turn 1 and then down in towards turn 2 now.
Yeah, obviously Goman an independent at the moment.
Yeah, I think I saw him advertising his services in a thread earlier on. But he obviously manages to do a good job with his setups each week, even though it seems he's doing it perhaps without the help of the team. He's always there and thereabouts, as we've said.
Yeah, I believe Zwowski, sorry, useless at names. He's Yuhu Abe, Yudo Narumi's teammate, so another one of the Japanese drivers trying to come through. It's great to see, actually, because normally the time zone differences really make this predominantly sort of European and American only, so it's great that we've got these guys taking part in the strength of field races. And it was also good this week to see the Australians organise a race as well, so
yeah.
Let's hope that builds with strength as well, and some of those drivers might have a little shot at going for a pro using their own strength of field as well. That really would throw the cat amongst the pigeons if that starts being a regular thing.
No, absolutely, it was a good start to it. That was a 12 o'clock GMT Friday race. Couple of extra international drivers in that as well, and it would have gone on the US server and worked out quite nicely for everyone. Unfortunately, myself and Louis Baboni really being the only non-Oz / New Zealanders, really struggled with server connections on that race. But yeah, if we get a few more numbers in there, it'll work out quite nicely. And some quick cars in that as well. It was Fabian, I seem to remember, that streaked away from the field in that race.
Yeah, Joseph, really quick driver, and I think had he been running the strength of fields, he'd definitely have a shot at pro.
Oh, hang on, what has happened here? Ricardo Castroledo, P3. When did that happen? So Javier Soto, P1, Manchusi close behind into the corkscrew, P2, and Ricardo Castroledo down into third.
Well, Ricardo's had a second pit stop, so I can only assume that means that
Damage.
3.1 seconds. I imagine it's a stop and go penalty that he's just had. Yeah, he's had one already this week, so obviously didn't learn his lesson. It just goes to show as well. There's I know Ricardo pretty much hadn't done any pit stops for a whole season, so when it's coming in, it's catching a few drivers out.
So this is looking like a great little into the race, hopefully. So we know Castroledo is quicker than the two cars in front. I would say that Mancusi and Javier Soto have been relatively even through the rest of the race. Soto just having the edge, maybe. So let's see if these guys can hang together to the end. We've got 14 laps remaining.
Yeah, I think as far as Ricardo is, it's all about putting pressure on the guys in front of him into making just a little bit of a mistake, which will let him have the chance to get a run in. Yeah,
I mean, he was 7 tenths quicker on that last lap, so if he can just not make any little errors, he's hopefully going to have that opportunity down into turn 1, turn 2. It's the only ever taking place really on the circuit.
Yeah, I think we saw a post on the forum as well from, I think it was Jacob Nielsen, was it? Saying that he was following someone that was 2.5 seconds slower and he couldn't get past, so it's going to be hard for Ricardo. He's definitely going to have to force a little bit of a mistake from the driver in front just so he can get a run.
Off camera somewhere, we've also lost now Jan Zalowski, unfortunately. So after us saying about how consistent he's been, he is now out of the race and disconnected.
Yeah, he tried to have a pit, I think, to get whatever repair it was, but it didn't happen.
So Mancusi's just dropping back a little bit from Soto now as he's under pressure from Ricardo. Of course, having to defend and not quite able to take the lines he might want to. But Castroledo just struggles a little bit coming out of the corkscrew there, drop back a touch.
Yeah, Ricardo obviously needs to be careful with the driver in front as well. He's, I think he will know for a fact as well. He'll be acutely aware that these are two Class A guys sitting in first and second in the strength of field race, and if he's going to do anything, he's going to do it cleanly. He's not going to try anything rash.
Mancusi there, up over the inside curb into turn 1 there. Looked like he was struggling to maintain control. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, very close with Castroledo as well into the next turn. So Castroledo was saying he was just doing this for fun earlier on in the week, and as you said, hopefully then that means he doesn't need to take any risks and just let everybody race.
Yeah,
But
for sure. He
poor
still
Mancusi
wants. For sure he wants to win, and he want to try and get a move done.
Ooh,
Soto.
yeah, Soto runs wide on that do or die corner. Castellano's going to get him as well into the corkscrew. So now, Ricciardo's struggling into the break into the corkscrew as well, and Mancusi losing it on the rear. So all 3 cars struggling into 2 corners.
Yeah, Soto be gutted with that. He had the lead. And to
Yeah.
be fair, he was starting to pull away a bit, so he
was.
wasn't under as much pressure, and it was perfect for him. Is what he needed.
Soto nearly in the pit lane wall there, so lost the rear coming out of the final corner. He's dropped a little way back now from the other 2.
Yeah, and Eunice is catching these guys up as well as they're fighting. So 4th place, he's right. Well, he's about 2nd behind Soto now. So I think the top class A spot is very much still up for grabs.
So let's see if Mancusi can cope with this massive, massive pressure he's under now from Ricciardo Castellano. Yeah, so Yunus Nukarin, you're right, very, very close to Javier Soto. So if Mancusi and Castellano start squabbling away and have a little bit of a struggle around a couple of corners, then we can be 4 cars altogether. So after that little bit of pit stop strategy, then it has really brought the field together, which is great. This is what we've been, screaming for, wanting these longer length races.
As we see Eunice in the background, once again just running wide on that
Soto
2nd from
again
last corner.
struggling to get out that final corner as well. So
Ricciardo having a look, but not close enough.
Yeah, Mancusi just misses the first apex, but manages to get that 2nd apex. Okay, gets a decent run out the corner.
Yeah, obviously Mancusi from Friction Racing, I believe they're called. I don't think we've got them on the overlay at the moment, but we'll get you guys added in shortly. I know one of their sponsors is RC. So a nice little start, new team. Let's show them what they've got. I'll get Colin Cunniff to pay me for that plug later. Definitely Soto coming under pressure as well now. Got two battles very, very close, just about on screen.
Alright, so let's have a look at the relative lap times between the 4 of them. So Mancusi on that one, a 103.2. Ricciardo Castellano, 103.4. Javier Soto, 103 flat, so he's gained a good chunk of time from the 2 in front. And Yunus Nukarinen, fastest of all, the only one of the 4 in the 102s, a 102.9. So that's how we want everyone grouping back up together.
Yeah, 10 laps to go. Starting to look pretty interesting up there.
These are going to be big points available for these 4 cars. So any one of them, I would have thought, couldn't be too disappointed with even a 4th place finish. They're going to be getting a decent haul of points.
Oh, certainly no one's going to try anything rash. There's going to be no dive bombs into turn 1, I wouldn't think. And if they are, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the person in front jump out of the way. So this late stage of the race, a good 250 points up for some of these guys.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the 4. Really, you're thinking what Mancusi and Nukarinen perhaps will be the most cautious. We've not really seen them perhaps in these big points positions, so they've got the most to lose. Whereas Ricciardo Castellano, well, we know he's got nothing to use, and Javier Soto, well, he scores big points fairly regularly. So it'll be just interesting to see how that dynamic plays out.
Yeah, how Soto didn't get his pro license last season is just beyond me. I mean, he scored an average of over 200 points, so just it was a crazy tight field last season, and just the way the system works now with the 4 races, I think it made it even harder.
How is the dirty air coming through this circuit? How is Ricciardo Castellano going to be struggling behind Mancusi?
Well, I think this build, I mean, although we are meant to have some draft model adjustments, I think it was very, very similar to what we saw in Season 1. So, and to me, that wasn't too bad. The dirty air was certainly manageable. There was a little bit there. Ricciardo losing the back end coming out last corner, but you can definitely follow close. I think the hardest point with the draft model as it is at the moment is breaking that 1.2 to 0.8 second gap, where you don't really gain too much with the draft, but you certainly get the dirty air. Once you get within that, then you get the advantage of the slipstream, and it's probably the advantage is more than what the dirty air is. Certainly at Spa it was almost impossible to break away, so I've not noticed any real change this season, but this is a very tricky track.
Loses a car coming out the corner, luckily managed to gather it up and get out of the way.
Yeah, that's all 4 cars as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the leaders were coming up to...
Oh, someone!
Nikarinen. Yeah, Nikarinen runs out to that exit gravel, manages to keep it going, so he's dropped off the back now off Javier Soto.
Yeah, I only heard it, I didn't see it. Let's have a quick look at that back.
Yeah, it's that do or die corner again. Castrolado very, very close to Mancusi again as they come into the final corner. Needs to get a good exit, or Mancusi cuts too much to the curb on the inside. They both struggle to get the power down. I think Riccardo Castrolado might have a little bit of a run now coming over the crest towards turn 2. Maybe not quite going to be close enough unless there's a lunge. Oh, he does lunge to the inside, he goes to the inside. Oh, Mancusi just about far enough ahead to keep his rear wing out of trouble, and they carry on through the exit the corner as they were. Well, I saw tears then. I saw Riccardo Castrolado dive up the inside and Mancusi turn in, but they just had enough space between them.
Just having a quick watch of that back as we were watching the replay from Eunice to see what happened. But yeah, good driving there. Riccardo didn't. Could have had a bit more of a dive, but he didn't. As I said, he definitely won't want to ruin anybody's race here today.
And of course, all the time, Javier Soto is closing back up as these two squabble away. And even Nikarinen, actually, he's gained a fair bit of time again. He's not that far back from Soto.
Yeah, 0.2 of a second the last time round, 1.1 seconds the gap now. 7 laps to go.
Jordi Hagner gets out the way nice and early.
Riccardo having playing a little bit of the old peekaboo in the rear mirror there, just to try and put I've lost the name. Put Mancusi under pressure there and force him into a mistake.
5 laps to go. So I'm impressed with Mancusi. You know, he's been under a lot of pressure now for what, getting on 10 laps, maybe not quite that long. And we've not seen too many errors. Maybe just say clipping that curb on the inside on the final corner a minute ago. But he's doing well to deal with the pressure of the fastest car on the circuit.
Yeah, pace is quick as well. It's not like he's suffering. Oh, Riccardo, don't do it. I've been saying.
But that looks so close as they came into the corkscrew there. And again, from the driver's eye, you just can't see the track at all. It just disappears. You go off the end of the earth, and that would have been a tough move to do.
Let's jump onto the old gyro cam with Riccardo. Just watch him for a little bit.
Here we go. He's got a good run again as they come up the crest towards turn 1. Is he going to make a move again into turn 2? He looks to shape up the inside. Up the inside, Mancusi just about gives him enough space. Trying to hang around the outside, inches between them almost to come through. Mancusi's got the inside line now. Is he going to hold on to it? He does. Riccardo Castrolado slots back in again. Great driving between the two.
Yeah, I caught that just at the right time as well. Just went on board.
We're back to 4 cars all together now, practically. Nikarinen right back in the mix.
Yeah, just as we can see here with the gyro cam, actually, you can really see the camber of this circuit. We'll stick with it just for the rest of this lap, just so you can see it. But certainly I think we'll be using this for the on-board laps as well. Definitely gives the guys watching a little bit more of a feel of the undulation changes of this track.
So, Mancusi just loses a rear coming out of the corkscrew there. Just about gathers it up, clips a little bit of the gravel. Riccardo Castrolado is going to get a great run now into this final corner, I think. But, okay, maybe not quite. Oh, he does dive up inside. Oh, so close. Riccardo Castrolado runs wide. Javier Soto is going to be looking up to get the inside now as they come into turn 1.
Oh, Eunice!
In the background, loses the rear. Javier Soto is still close behind of Riccardo Castrolado, but not close enough to make a move. Does go to the inside, but just a different line perhaps. Wow, action.
Yeah,
So,
4 laps to go, and I think any one of these drivers could still win it, depending on what happens here. So,
yeah, Mancusi now's just made a little bit of a break for it in that last lap after in that last couple of corners. Sorry, after Castrolado ran so deep into that final corner, so the pressure's just off him for a minute. He just needs to focus on hitting his braking markers, hitting those apexes, and making sure he stays away from those sausage curbs on the inside. All 3 cars sliding into the entry of the corkscrew, and again Mancusi just tips the gravel on the outside of the bottom of the corkscrew there.
little twitch there as well, so I mean, they all pitted quite late, so tyres should be in good order. So it just goes to show it's more he's pushing hard.
Yeah, we're looking at high freeze, low. Well, on that one, 2's 1 minute 2.7, 1 minute 2.4, and fast times. Riccardo Castellotto runs a little bit deep, a little bit hot into turn 2, but manages to cut back in and make the exit work for him. Gets a good drive out the corner. Javier Soto's just dropped back a little bit now. Nicarinen's closer to him than Soto. Oh, Mancusi loses the rear going into the corner. Riccardo Castellotto gets by. I think he must have just touched the gravel maybe. And Soto looking to go up the inside now of Mancusi. Mancusi got damage. I see him moving around a bit. I think he's okay.
Well, we're just looking back now from over his rear wing. He definitely looks like he's got rear wing damage. I mean, if that's not affecting him, well, I'm not really sure. Like I say, it could be a little server glitch, but he's driving fantastic if he has got damage with that. But as I said, Riccardo really just pressure more than anything forced Mancusi into a mistake, and he's gone wide again. That's going to be Soto. Eunice going to have a look around the outside too.
It's going to be tight. Everyone just holds their lines. Looks like Soto's going to get a better exit coming out the corner, I reckon. Let's see how close he manages to get as they come up the crest here. Mancusi defends to the inside. Well, Soto's going to go around the outside. He tries. He breaks late and deep. And
oh, it's contact!
Eunice is going to get through. Eunice into second place. Javier Soto looks like he's carrying on perhaps with a bit of front wing damage. Mancusi is back down into 4th position. That's a shame those 4 cars are battling so closely, so strongly together for so long. What we're at penultimate lap, 54, and we've had them all blown apart really.
Yeah, just have a quick look at that one back, shall we?
Yeah, Javier Soto's not a million miles still from Nicarinen, so Nicarinen still needs to get a clean last couple of laps.
Not far enough. Apologies. Yeah, so it all started really when second from last corner. Mancusi just a little bit wide. He managed to hold it on the inside there. Soto got a pretty decent exit, but still a little bit squirrely there. So he's got a great run.
And Javier Soto pulls in and slows right the way down, and on the pit start line he's speeding up again, so he's slowed right down and he's sped up again. Is this Javier Soto letting Mancusi have a position back? That there is a fair bit of sportsmanship. I think he felt that he made the error and he's allowed Mancusi the position back.
I tell you what, there is probably not another driver in the series that would have just done what we've seen there, and
especially
give that man a pro license right now, because he deserves it.
That's it, especially if you have a Soto having missed out so closely last season to give up. Well, perhaps he knows he's already going to get bigger points from an earlier race, but even so, yeah, great. Oh, by the way, this is the final lap. Riccardo Castellotto crossing the start-finish line. Win for Castellotto despite that little bit of an error midway through the race. Eunice Nicarinen, P2. Great result for Eunice. He'll be delighted with that. So Mancusi then is going to be coming through the final corner in a moment. He's going to be taking 3rd position. Javier Soto is just going to sit behind. But
who's that right behind? Yeah.
Yuko Savalainen in 5th. Just loses the rear a little bit, can't get out of the corner. That could have ended up a little bit dicey there for Soto, trying to let Mancusi back through. He could have lost another position, but turned out fine. So Mancusi 3rd, Soto 4th, and Yuko Savalainen in 5th.
We've got Michael Goman
across the line in 6th. Yeah, absolutely. So that's still a reasonable amount of points for him. Justin Lindsay showing as 8th to me, so he's a lap down, I think. And then Reizoku Iwasaki is going to be crossing the line in 7th. He looks quite happy with that as he crosses the line.
Finish should still be decent points with that, I think. It's quite a high strength of field, and there's just in 8th.
And I think that's it then, isn't it? 8th position, Justin Lindsay is the last runner that I can see.
I know you're only on the spectator chat, but can you post on there and just see if one of his Soto's teammates is watching and can try and get him to come on our TeamSpeak. I don't know if he speaks English or not, but I really want to do an interview with Soto, because that is the most gracious sportsmanship I've ever seen. And yeah, if we saw more driving like that, it would be such a fantastic series. Right, just while we just try and see who's going to come in for an interview, we've got a couple of guys all coming in now, so just go for a quick commercial break and then we'll be right back.
take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. The GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Right, and we're back after a quick commercial break. Thanks to our sponsors, GT Omega Racing there. While we're at it, also thanks some of the new sponsors that are on with Aero TV as well. So that's Sim Garage, simgarage.com for all your button box needs. Please go and check them out. Kimmy's Rural Fencing. You guys won't know this, but part of our V8 Supercar League, one of the guys who runs that, Mark Noble, over in Australia, supporting us. So thanks a lot, Mark, for that. AC Sim Equipment, nothing to do with me whatsoever, but any of the drivers in the recent special event that we did will know that it's a brake ped model for the G27. Check our site out for information on that. That's apexracinguk.com. That'll be coming around very, very shortly. It's not on there at the moment. But yeah, and then just as well, don't forget to follow us at Apex Racing TV on Twitter and Aero TV on Facebook. Right, we've got a couple no, we've got Eunice in there, so let's grab Eunice up and we'll have a quick chat with him, and let's see if we can get anybody else in there as well.
So good evening then, Eunice. Congratulations on that second position. You've got to be delighted with those last couple of laps there.
Yeah, the couple last laps were really intense, and I tried to just keep it on the road, and at some laps I actually didn't manage to do that, so I made some mistakes too, but what a race.
Tell us a little bit about your start. Sorry to butt in there, Lee, just as we were watching it back on the replay. Tell us a little bit about your start, because obviously you were behind all the carnage but got yourself through it.
I started 17th, so I had pretty much the area where you can just follow things, so I wasn't in the middle of the carnage set, so I was able to avoid it, and I think I was a bit lucky too, as always.
Yeah, it looks like you dived onto the inside. Did you get a slowdown penalty for using the pit lane there?
Yeah, but I was driving too slow already.
Yeah.
Slow.
It was worth taking, I say. Well, second place, I'm taking it that's exactly what you wanted for the start of your championship.
Pretty much. I wanted to get some decent good race, and in the end of the race just see and look how good it is, and I made some mistakes, so I think that cost the win from Ricardo, but still from 17th to 2nd, I'm pretty happy, and with the car it's amazing setup and good stuff with Javier Soto and Jan, and this time it did not end like it did in Spa. So that's yeah, I'm looking forward to Silverstone, much more comfortable track for me than this narrow Laguna Seca.
Yeah, I mean, 17th place on the grid. I think a few people probably expected you to be a little bit higher. Did we struggle at all with the qualifying set this week, or is it just a case of couldn't quite master the track, and every time you were on for a good one it stole it with an off track?
Basically, I can say that at Laguna Seca for me it's been a bit tough to get good, decent lap at once, and my optimals were like 6/10 from my actual time, so it just shows that this track is tough to qualify and to get that really good qualifying time in one lap.
Well, congratulations today, second place, 17th to second, pretty amazing performance. Anyone you want to give a shout out to while you're here?
Of course, Coffee Month, my friends, 10-4 Engineering, and just Marcus Caetan, and it's just and everyone on the series racing with me. Like that's a blast, and good to see them start.
Yeah, well done again, mate. Lee, you got anything else after I cut you off earlier? Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'll say just congratulations as well, Eunice. 260 points. Great for your first week, especially for a circuit that you're not comfortable with. So, as you said, roll on Silverstone.
Yeah. See ya on Silverstone next week.
Cheers, Eunice. Right, so next up then, I think we've got a choice between Hunter Manley and Riccardo Castelletto, Alex.
Yeah, I think we'll get the leader in. I think he pretty much deserves that.
So good evening, Riccardo. A rather eventful race for you, but you managed to hang on to that win at the end.
Yes, what a race! Incredible race.
Halfway through, sorry, Riccardo. Halfway through, it looked like you had it, sewn up and in the bag. 25 seconds plus down the road. You got a stop and go penalty, right?
Yes, I was thinking I had a penalty, but I did not have it, so I stopped another time for nothing. I just changed one tire on the pit stop, and when I go to the track, I lost control, and it's why I was thinking I had a penalty, because I was outside of the pit lane, so I stopped another time for nothing. Luckily, because the end of the race was incredible.
Yeah, so great that you got to have a bit of entertainment at least at the end, despite that that slight error that you had. Talk us through the last few laps, Riccardo. A little bit of contact here and there, I think, between you and Mancusi.
I don't think we had contact.
That was Soto. I'll correct Lee there for you. No, you got through nice and cleanly. But you had a good battle with Mancusi. I mean, I don't know if we were seeing a little bit of a server glitch. Did he have any rear wing damage that you could see?
No, I didn't see that. So.
Yeah. We thought perhaps he had a bit of damage, but he was lapping stunningly quick with that. So, but he defended well. I mean, what's this circuit like to overtake, Riccardo?
Yes, it's very difficult to overtake on this track. It's impossible. So I tried 2 or 3 times, but I didn't pass. So I wait for opportunity to pass. So it's what I do, and luckily I win because of this, because it's impossible to pass on this track.
We're on to Silverstone next week, obviously a much more traditional Formula 1 circuit where we can overtake. You looking forward to that one, or are you going to be practicing hard for Sebring instead?
I think I will practice for the 2. I don't know exactly if I will race on Silverstone, but I hope to be here to have the race. We will see. I don't know exactly now if I will race.
I think, actually, like myself, we've both got to get our safety rating above 3.0 if we're going to race on at the weekend, aren't we?
Yes, I was particularly losing my distance, but with these races, I improved my safety rating.
Oh yeah, I just see it actually. It's on screen at the moment, 3.77. So you're back and clear. Well done on that.
Yes.
I better pull my finger out and get a move on as well then if I'm going to race.
Yes.
Well, anyone you want to give a shout out to, the team, while you're here?
What? Sorry, I don't understand exactly what you
Sorry, is there anyone you want to thank while you're on air with us at the moment?
Yes, I want to thank my team, the iRacing, and all people who support me, like the GT5 communities, like GT5 GC and GT5 RS, for example. Thanks all, and see you.
Yeah, no worries, Ricardo. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I know there's been lots of talk on the forum about who should be racing and who won't be racing, and I'm totally with everybody being allowed to race, and we even commented about that earlier on, that you know, all the pro guys, it's really the only thing we can do. So just put my little 2 pence in there, and hopefully I'll race you at Silverstone.
Yes, I have to race next week. So see you next week, I hope.
Thanks, Ricardo. Congratulations again on another victory.
Thanks.
Right, let's get the last of the drivers up that are in the channel. Such a shame Soto didn't pop his head in here.
I did try. I did ask in spectator chat. Yeah, no success. Right, good evening, Hunter. Unlucky, sort of midway through the race, but until then, great battling between it was you, Johnny Hagner, and Michael Goman, I think.
Yeah, I had a really good race, and just done something stupid, and well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it was.
Sorry, go on, Lee.
I was going to say it was into turn over the crest into turn 1 into turn 2. Hunter, right? You and Johnny Hagner.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my position and just got too aggressive and put him in the wall, but stuff happens.
Yeah, indeed it does. I mean, I think we commented at the time that it just moved over a little bit late on him there, and there was no room, and I think you posted in the chat as well and apologised for it. But as you said, these things happen, and this is why we have 4 races. But I mean, for yourself, you were in a good position. But personally, this week, I mean, how's it gone so far? I know you had a pretty decent finish early on.
Yeah, I've had a strong finish today, and I've kind of had bad luck yesterday with the starts. So at least I got one good race in.
What's your plans for the season, Hunter? We saw on the forum, obviously, when the top 10 predictions were coming out, you popped your head in there and said, "What about me?" And it's nice to see that you're committing yourself to the car for the season. So, you planning on getting it this season?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to try to prove myself, being a kind of a younger driver than everybody else, and coming from a place that's not really known for road drivers. So just trying to prove what I have and hopefully get the pro license.
Well, it looks like a good start, Hunter. Yeah, you're currently in the standings of the A-class drivers, so right there in the hunt straight away.
We're on to Silverstone next week. How do you like the track?
I like the flow of it, and it has some really good passing areas, and it's not like here where you can only go too wide in the corner. You can, you know, get a lot better run, and there's just a lot more passing opportunities.
Great, well, hard luck for your race this evening that we saw, Hunter, but congratulations on your strong results earlier in the week. We shall look forward to seeing you at Silverstone for next week's Strength of Field.
Alright, thank you guys.
Cheers, Hunter.
Cheers, bud.
Right, so what are we thinking as far as our driver of the day goes then, Lee?
Now there is a question. I think you've got to give it to Yunus Nukarinen, haven't we? Yeah, Ricardo Castelletto, obviously great driving, but we heard from him, schoolboy error, thinking he had a penalty when he didn't and pitting for it. That's, you know, it was fortunate for him. Perhaps that wasn't a more serious race for him, because that's, you know, a bit inexcusable to make that sort of mistake maybe. Yunus Nukarinen, as you said, 17th on the grid, got through that carnage in off the start into turn 1. and second position, 4 seconds behind the leader. You know, you can't look anyone past him really.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think deservedly, Eunice had Soto finished in second place. No, not then, because he wouldn't have done his sportsmanship thing, so he needed to have done that to have got that. So honourable mention to that man as well. But yeah, certainly Eunice for it for me as well, I think.
Well, you know, we had our slight reservations perhaps this evening as to how much of an entertaining race it was going to be. We had a little bit of flatness, you know, what, a third of the way through, but then frankly, rest of the race, great action. Not just incidents and accidents for the most part, but actual, you know, good solid racing, clean racing as well for the vast majority of it. So when we get onto Silverstone next week, Alex, say a bit more of a traditional circuit, we're looking for hopefully a good strong race again.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I know I'll be out there. I'll be back in the commentary box again next week, but I'll certainly try and get a few more races in that week as well.
Great. Well, don't forget then, guys. As I say, catch our live stream again next week, 6 o'clock GMT, 7 o'clock UK time, British summer time. We may be doing coverage of the Grand Dam series before, I'm thinking, Alex. So we'll confirm, I guess, with everyone before that. But you keep your eye out on the forum, and we may have an extended live stream covering both races.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, thanks, Lee. Thanks for having me up here, and I'll be back.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing all the very hard work of having to deal with the camera, so I could just chill out and has an easy life. And I shall see you again next week. Thank you, everybody, and we shall see you then.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.